while they are doing an arc within a season, they don't. It's not every week is progression of that arc. It's the crime of the week show. So there's a crime, they have to solve it, and some of the weeks it ties back into the major villain of the season. Kind of like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. You had the big bad in the first season, and you saw him in the first episode, and he was defeated in the last episode, and he appeared in a couple of episodes. This is not looking too hopeful. So there's a lot of shows these days that go with the big bad for the season, but I really don't have to burst out here. Have to oh well, back it up. Beep, beep, beep. But with streaming shows, it tends not to be a big bad. Well, there's a big bad for the season, but every single episode is in furtherance of defeating the big bad. So, for the Reacher show, you've got the first episode. You're not necessarily meeting the big bad in the first episode, and also he might not appear to be the big bad during the first episode or two. I think the last season of Reacher, you had sort of the big bad was actually the kid's dad, but you didn't. He was working for someone else, but he was part of the big bag or organisation that needed to be overthrown. But in the first episode, or the first few episodes, he just comes across as he's a concerned father because the big bad was trying to kidnap his son so that he would do what the big bad, his boss wanted him to do. But he's part of the bad organisation, but he doesn't appear to be. So you're left guessing. We'll move this off the field when it's full. So Tony and Ziva, much the same thing. There is a big bad. And the big bad might be the nice guy from the first episode. Not so nice. Or he might be being set up. We don't know. But, one. Go forwards, GPS, go. So yeah, it's like that, but it gives streaming shows more leeway, I guess, in their in the level of story that they can tell. It's a bit like way back when. 24 with Kiefer Sutherland. 24 was an entire season of about 24 episodes, initially 24 episodes. Eventually it was kind of shortened a bit from 24 episodes. But it was, the events of a day, fighting a terrorist organisation. So it was a huge overarching show. You had people introduced, and as sort of someone they need to meet halfway through the series, but then they're gone by 3-4 episodes. They've done their task, and it's on to the next clandestine meeting with a helpful person or unhelpful person. But sometimes big shows are more rewarding than small shows. A lot of the time. Obviously, one of the earlier ones was Babylon 5, where it was supposed to be a 5-season art story. It ended up as a 4-season story, and then, oh damn, we thought we got cancelled at the end of season 4, but somebody else has picked it up, and we need to come out with some extra episodes. Now, the extra episodes flowed in fairly well, but it was known by the fans that actually the plan had been for the Shadows to be defeated at the end of season 4 and Earth to be defeated at the end of season 5. It ended up with, they were told they were being cancelled at the beginning of season 4, so halfway through season 4 the Shadows were defeated, and then the end of season 4 Earth was defeated, and then they got extension, so season 5 was the first year of the fledgling sort of Federation. All the big civilizations coming together for a common cause, except the Centauri, who were bad. But, it was a huge undertaking. And I missed a shrub. But as such, and Babylon 5 was very well written in that there was the adventure of the week. So if you were a casual viewer, you could sit down and watch the show, and then miss 5 episodes and watch the show. It wasn't a show I have to sit in front of because there's something going on. 24 was a big investment of, I'm going to watch this, and I'm going to be sitting here at the same time every week for 24 weeks to watch all of the episodes. With Babylon 5, you didn't have to, if you weren't too much interested in the overarching storyline. But you did, if and you just wanted to sit down and be entertained. But if you did want to follow along with the entire plot, then it was, even then, very clever. What they ended up doing was they made it so that every clue was repeated. So even if you did end up missing an episode, you hadn't necessarily missed a critical bit of information, because you would find it through other avenues in later episodes, or there would be a flashback to ensure, hey, this happened 3 episodes ago that you didn't see, and here's a reminder, this is actually important. And if you weren't paying attention, you might have said, yeah, that was nice, but later on it's like, oh no, this was actually a significant event in the overarching story. So kind of clever how they did that. But then it was one man writing the entire plot, so he knows what's supposed to happen and when. we are getting a very good yield here. That's probably the maximum, isn't it? Let's put us on cruise control. Jump over to the map. Step back to precision farming. And keep an eye on things. That's pH. Yeah, beans don't care. And then this, yeah, we've got segments of 125. 110 was from the... Got 195. So the edges of the field aren't super awesome. These dark bits, which are silty clay, yeah, they're 100%, 95%. But this stretch through the middle, it's loam. Yeah, it's going to be the best yield of all. So definitely a good thing. And it looks like the loam continues into that sunflower seed field. So buying that sunflower field would be a good investment in land. We'll see how that works out. I'm not going to buy it now because those sunflowers will not be well maintained. So we'll probably end up with bad tillage, bad soil, bad everything. And it's going to mess up our environmental score, something horrible. So yeah, streaming series, while not the overarching sort of 24 episode mega storyline of 24 or 125 episode storyline or 120 episode storyline of Babylon 5. They're only doing 10 episodes, but it is 10 strong episodes which keep you involved because it's like reading a big book. You have to, coming back each week to see the next installment. It's not like a normal TV show where I can miss episodes. It really doesn't matter. And then in 2 years' time, I could start with... We missed an entire season of NCIS. And it didn't make any difference to the story at all. It was the same people were still there, the same stuff was still going on. Okay. Let's lift that up. Let's put that out. I'm going to turn that off because I need this guy. Open up those. Now then, what am I going to do here? I think we learnt last week that I need to make sure that this truck is pointing in the direction I want to go rather than needing to turn around. It does not turn well when fully loaded. So if I point it that way, that is good. Turn the engine off. And turn this on. And off we go. Let's go find myself a truck. Unfortunately, I do believe the harvester's coming down. I mean, we've got enough room to turn this thing round. So that's fine. Also, don't know how heavy soybeans are in the grand scheme of things. Get this filled up. And move on to the next hole. That is not full. Doesn't it? This takes something like almost, almost 3 full carts of the auger cart to fill that up. All right, let's pick the right approach. And I can sail down here. I'll drive past and then come back. I'm pretty sure that gap behind two harvester widths is quite sufficient enough to be able to turn this around, so long as I do not try it at 90 miles an hour. Excuse me a minute. That's better. Steering wheel was rubbing on the desk. Okay, so we come in here. I can turn that off. Turn that on. Get that unloaded. What is going on here? There we go. That looks better. I'm going to have to go back and check the stream later. It looks like for some reason my screen wasn't refreshing. Okay. And off we go for load number 4. I don't think we're going to fill up that cart at all. Okay, let me contracts. Field 9. I'll accept that one. And new. Back to here. Field 31. No. Yes. 23 is sunflowers. Accept that one. And we'll accept that one. Okay, let's get back to the harvester. Get it turned around, then we can. Okay. That is sunflowers, 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 and they all are emptying at the same location. So we got 3 contracts ready to do with our harvester. This one. Then what I'll probably end up doing is we'll run out, we'll get the header attached. I will start this close field on a worker. We'll collect the bales and then maybe load the little tractor with a sprayer. We can fertilize that field. I think I should be able to get a cut in. Okay, bad news. let's keep that running. And grass. Oh, can be cut this month and next month. I don't know if it's going to be ready to cut in November. It doesn't matter. We can fertilise it anyway. And then we can fertilise it anyway. So that next time we do cut it, it's going to be a good yield. Let's also have a look at how this is going. So this field's up tonight. That's our grass field. That's the results of our sorghum. That's that. This is registering at 88. It's not top one and bottom one. Tillage wasn't brilliant because we had to use a planter. So it's never going to be a brilliant tillage. Weed control is meh. Nitrogen and pH is, and that's because we didn't do a precision. We didn't have the bobs on the rear view mirrors to detect the crops. So now we got one of those. So that should push our environmental score up. Also, we now have an 11% bonus on sale. So that's where things start getting good. Last year it was a very poor selling season because we didn't get the bonus. This year we're going to get a 10% bonus on everything we sell. Oh, we also, well, I was going to say, we also need to sell the milk, except we don't. Because the milk is drain. The milk is not at best price yet, but it will be sometime this month. Or more specifically, this month will be the best month to sell milk. Just don't know when. Creep forward a little bit and off we go. This field is, we're probably going to get a 2-load auger cart plus a bit more. So four harvester loads, 4 14s are 56,000 litres of soybeans. I guess we'll be able to look that up when all is said and done. But that is potentially not going to be a full cart truck thing. Going to have to figure out where to park the truck for the soybean, for the sunflowers. There's a path over there. I could park it on that path, which will make it easier to extract. Get to the sell point. I was thinking about the road over there. The problem is the sell point is over by the train depot, so I don't want to have to travel all the way across the map. If I can cut that travel time down a little bit, then that will be good. Okay. Our last row of really good yielding crop, nearly done here. Then we'll be over to the crappy dirt on that side of the field. So I think the farm is very successful. The fact that we have big fields and big paying contracts means we have much more wealth than we've had in past seasons. It's obviously the advantage of American farm with big fields. We just don't get that on the smaller European maps. But then again, the field cost is scary when it comes down to it. So